Hello, and welcome back to my third video featuring the 5C key building blocks of communication in a successful relationship. That is such a tongue twister for me. But the first C that I went over was curiosity. The second C I went over was compassion. And today I am going to talk about collaboration. So when I think about collaboration, the first thing that comes to mind is a song. Artists come together to make a hit song. What do they have to do in order to collaborate to make that song successful? So that is what I kind of want you to think about when you're communicating with your partner on a decision that you guys have to make, a big decision that could change your lifestyle or your finances. Make sure you are collaborating so that both of your issues are addressed. So, what do you have to do in order to have a successful collaboration? The first thing is you have to be transparent. You have to come to the table with all of your decisions and what you think about. You should not come to the table with underlying intentions, okay? So, collaboration first starts off with each partner being transparent. Then you want to make sure you're addressing your power imbalances. There could be, a more dominant person in your relationship, but when it comes to collaboration, address those power imbalances. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, but you guys should be equal. Acknowledging and valuing each other's assets and contributions. Each of you will come with your own set of assets and your own set of contributions. So make sure you're valuing each other's assets and contributions. And then this is a hard one. Learn how to take accountability for your own deficiencies. And it's hard to not point the finger. It's because you feel like you see other people's deficiencies over yours. Like we're perfect, right? So make sure we are taking accountability for our own deficiencies and compensate for them. Compensate for our deficiencies and our weaknesses. Don't tell the other person how to compensate for their deficiencies and their weaknesses. You need to compensate, or you need to take accountability for your own. Let them take accountability for their own. So how do we know when we are actually collaborating successfully when we communicate with our partner? I'm sorry, this is bothering me. If you start to hear yourself say things like, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be in this situation. Or if your spouse says the same thing, if you wouldn't have did this, we could be further along in our finances. That's because you guys did not collaborate on that specific decision. And now you have this victim attitude when actually you gave in to that decision. So you have some responsibility in contributing to your present situation because you didn't collaborate 5 years ago with your spouse. So we'll talk about collaborators are equal partners. Collaborators are equal partners. You and your spouse are equal when it comes to the decision when you are collaborating. So you guys are equal partners. No one is above or below. So when I said you have to balance the power, that's what I mean. Both of you guys are equal. It doesn't mean that you're the same because you're going to bring your own assets. You're going to bring your own values, but those are going to be equal. So if you feel like you're giving in or you gave everything up, you're walking away saying, oh, I gave everything up for him, you're not an equal partner, okay? Which comes into my next point is collaboration is not giving in. Collaboration is not giving in or surrendering to your spouse. If you feel like you're giving in, if you're just at the point where it's like, just do it, let's just go ahead and do it, take a break from that conversation. Just take a break, let it all sink in. It could be that your spouse is not being transparent with everything, that there could be some underlying intentions that they're not bringing to the table. So when you regroup, ask your questions, make sure you're clear on everything and every decision on the outcomes as well. Collaboration is not cooperation. So there is a difference, and I'm not saying that you should not cooperate with your spouse, but there is a difference in collaboration and cooperation. Collaboration is more about the process or working together, while cooperation is about the result of working together. Okay, so collaboration is about the process of working together, where cooperation is the result of working together. So, example, your spouse comes to you and say, this is what I want to do. And your response is, okay, let's do it. Go ahead. You can do it. I'll step aside. You go do that. That is cooperation. Collaboration would be like your spouse comes to you and says, this is what I want to do. And you say, okay, great. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how important it is to you. Let's talk about what it is you actually want to do. Let's talk about how does this affect me? How does this affect our family? How does this affect our lifestyle? That's collaboration. So cooperation is not is a sense of giving in. You're cooperating with them. Yeah, that sounds good. Go do it. Where collaboration is, let's bring let's bring everything to the table and let's talk about how it affects everyone involved. There are some things that you want to avoid when you are collaborating. You want to avoid competing with each other. It's not a competition. No one is going to come, everyone's going to come in at 10 seconds, not 10.1 or 10.5 or 10.10. Everyone's going to come in, both parties should come in at 10.0. It's a win-win situation. It's not a competition. So don't compete while you're collaborating. Compromise. Don't compromise when you're collaborating, okay? I will be clear with that. Compromise is something that you have to do in a marriage, but when it comes to collaborating, compromise is kind of like that mature route where you're like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and compromise and we can do it your way. However, like I said before, it could be a problem in the future, and you might find yourself saying, if we wouldn't have made that decision, we wouldn't be here. That's because you compromised and you didn't collaborate. So there's some plus and balance, some pluses and negatives for compromising and cooperation. So make sure you are collaborating when it comes to these big decisions that could affect your life down the line. And then the last thing you want to avoid when it comes to collaborating is avoidance. When your spouse comes to you and they say, hey, this is a good financial opportunity, let's invest in it. Here's all the information. They put it all out on the table for you, and you're just like, oh, that sounds good. I trust you. Go ahead and do it. And then 2 years later, it's a flop. You guys lose money, and now you're upset because that was a bad investment. Well, you avoided to look into the situation. You avoided to collaborate. So just make sure you are not avoiding or not using avoidance to collaboration. So those were my key points. Make sure you guys are both equal. Make sure you're not giving in. Make sure you are not cooperating, or collaboration is not cooperation. You're not competing with each other. You're not compromising, but you both are bringing your own assets to the table, your own values to the table, and it is a win-win situation. No one should walk away feeling like their side wasn't heard, or no one should walk away feeling like they gave in. If you feel like that, you did not collaborate. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. The key to creating a relationship where each of your wants and preferences are respected and honored is through collaboration. Collaborating partners operate as a team to achieve a common purpose, which cannot be achieved by either partner on his or her own. If you missed the previous videos, check us out on mysideofthebed_ on Instagram, My Side of the Bed on Facebook, and also our YouTube page, Chris and Leisha Hayes, on YouTube. If you want to send us any comments, questions, or topic ideas, email them to samesheetsdifferentpillows@gmail.com. Talk to you guys later.